All right, all right, all right. Shalom, shalom, Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. Coming again on this Deborah platform with another message. And I will say this is a lovely evening in which the Most High, a higher has made. And I, Sister Deborah, shall and I will rest therein. I got cut off um, earlier. And the strangest thing, you guys, this was going to be, it was a really good message that I was putting out because it now speaking strictly spirit and truth, trying to give people something to grip onto, to know that you don't have to trust in people or in man or woman, husband and wife, mother and father, children and friends and co-workers. We don't have to trust in none of that anymore. We can just trust in the most high, a higher, because greater is he that is in us than he that is in the world. We need to put more trust to the one that's greater in us than to the things of the world and the people in the world. He's much greater than they and even greater than ourselves. So I say unto you that it's time to talk about spirit and truth, because the truth of the matter, we're in the year 2022, and we're in what I call that hour. So in that hour, we are to be looking forward to self-approval. Getting really looking forward to understanding within ourselves that we are on a higher side. We don't need nobody to tell us what side we are on. We need to tell ourselves. We need to find out within us, Father, a higher. I'm on your side, and your side is the side I desire. Your side is the side that I yearn, I want to be on. And today I'm saying, search yourself. Say, Father, repent. Just tell him you sorry. You didn't realize that he could be in you already. He can be already resting therein. Let me tell you why he's already there. If he done everything before the foundation of the world, what is that saying? You see? So when people be telling you when I got saved this day, this day, this day, this day, and that's why it was so important for me to pour out what took place before the foundation of the world, because it was supposed to set the captives free. It was supposed to set people into liberty, to know that, hey, you waiting for the deliverer to come. You waiting to be justified, clarified, and identified by people that you have the Holy Spirit, and the Holy Spirit got you locked. You don't have to do that, the Father says. He said that if he is in you, he is in you. Now, you can compress the spirit that's in you and not let him manifest himself the way that he can, because you got that feeling of not trusting that he's within you. You don't need nobody to clarify nor identify or justify what's greater in you, because they can't go in you and tell you if he's there. But you can. And a lot of times it's based on your actions and how you are really conducting yourself in your own life. You don't have to get approval from nobody. Just search your own self and say, wait a minute. I need to find out, am I on a higher side or am I on Satan's side? And that's something you do within. You do within, because what? He's in you. He don't care about your flesh. He's letting you know, I could be right in you right now. And because you don't trust me enough to trust that I can be present in you, then you have to work with yourself. Get yourself approved. Prove to yourself that I can rest within you, and that yourself don't have the power to erase the fact that I can be resting within you. And he said throughout the scriptures, he was talking about how we fight, our flesh fight against our spirit man always. And that's what keep us from not realizing that he's already in us. He's already present in us. And we're chasing the ideal of what this person said and this person say, or this one saying, when I got to make sure I'm saved. And no, greater is he that is in thee than he that is in the world. And believe it or not, Ahia just want us to be still and know that he is all that and some within us. And that's why Sister Deborah said we are in a time where you should know if Ahia rests therein. I mean, I guess since I've been dealing with the Father since I was 4, so somewhere along the line, I know he ain't left me because he know I ain't got good sense no way. So I appreciate him knowing that because he knows all things. But I appreciate him not leaving me. And because of that, I've always, even as a little girl, believed in him. I always knew his presence was there. I always felt his presence on me. I'm serious, you guys. As a young girl, I always felt his presence. But you, the same way he is to me, he could be that way to you. It's just, a lot of us wants to be approved by somebody that we are who we say that we are. Ahia say, no, it ain't for no one else to approve who you are in me and who I am in you. It's a thing between you and I. This is a personal relationship. And that's what I think many people needs to seek and search into, because that's what the Father was putting on my heart to make sure I cover that let the people know. Search him. We in the year 2022. Don't go into the next year. Search him right now. Search Ahia right now in you. Don't call nobody. Don't tell nobody. Search Ahia within you. You see, have a relationship with him within you. No one on your left, no one on your right, but within you. Okay, and he'll love that because then you'll show him that you're how would I say it? You're abiding in him and him in you, making it a very personal relationship. A lot of people don't want it like that because they don't understand it has to be a personal relationship. And it don't have to be nobody on your left and nobody on your right. It don't have to be a relationship with you and your husband. It don't have to be no relationship with your husband and his wife. It don't have to be a relationship with your best friend or your children or your grandmother, your father, your mother. It don't have to be. It's a relationship between you and him. That's it. And he said, you don't have to be justified and clarified by anyone that he rests therein. Just know yourself whose side you are on. And once you come to the term and feel this thing, then he will show you that he was ever present right there, right in you. He has always been. Because he orchestrated this, y'all. So he said to tell you all that, no, he's not coming. When I told my prophetess, that's it, it's over. It's over. But don't mess him up from the flow up. When it's over, it's over. But it was already orchestrated the beginning to the end in heaven. So he wants you to know millions of years ago or more, it was finished in heaven before there were a earth. You see what I'm saying? So therefore, it's going back, taking the power and giving it back to who it belonged. So if he has orchestrated in him for you, for himself to abide in you and you to abide in him, now he's waiting on you. You should be waiting on him. He's waiting on you. And I think this is the best time, year 2000, the end of year 2022. Go into the next year knowing that you know and not letting nobody tell you nothing, no different, that you are in there with him. You know, let the actions within you bubble up. Let him have his way. Don't try to compress the spirit. Let the Father have his way in you to show you that he has been ever present within you all this time. Before you was even in your mother's womb. Wouldn't that be so sad? Not wouldn't it? It is sad if you really think about it. And we thinking we have to walk a certain way or talk a certain way and look a certain way. He's saying to me, Deborah, tell him, before the foundation of the world, there wasn't a look or walk. but you were already found it in me. He said, I didn't put in the Lamb Book of Life everybody had their head wrapped, everybody had fringes, everybody who didn't eat pork, everybody who kept the commandment, everybody who followed the law. Those are not the ones that's written in the Lamb Book of Life, because there was none of that before I wrote up that book. You see what I'm saying? So we need to find ourselves in him and not in the world, and people are in the world. You can't find a higher in Sister Deborah to be who you want him to be in you. You see what I'm saying? Find him in yourself. Get to know who he is yourself. Have a personal relationship with him yourself. So nobody can come between you and him. If he got something to say, that's another thing people don't know. When you have a personal relationship with the Father, guess what? You don't have to go to nobody for nothing. You don't have to question. You don't have to ask this. You don't have to, I wonder about this. I don't understand this. A higher would always shoot through you, because that's what he said. I'm the teacher. That's when you trust him like that. That's when you believe in him like that. You see what I'm saying? That he got all the answers to every question. He got all the answers to every situation on the face of this earth. See, that's when you turn that power back over to where it belongs. And we as human beings, we try to take that power and claim it to be ours, and it's not ours. And I see that going on. Let me tell you, I've seen so many female prophetess coming up big time and been on here for years, and some of them are coming up. They just doing more lying than anything. Lying and anything. Ahaya don't have time to be playing with Beyonce. Ahaya don't have time to be playing with Jay-Z or Kanye. See, they don't understand. Ahaya don't have to go to darkness to show his marvelous light, because he got one right here. See his light shining bright. He got one right here. Believe he all that and some. So he don't have to go into darkness, in the darkness of the worlds and the ways of the world, to pull out somebody to show his light. No, he don't do that. That's not how he rumbles. So he said to you all, choose this day, year 2022. Don't let the year go by without you really digging in and saying, whose side am I on? Show yourself approved. Not nobody else. You don't have to get the approval of no other human being, but show yourself, he said, approved. And if you work on you, guess what? He'll work on you as well, in him, in you, and both of y'all be one, become one. Just like Yeshua HaMashiach and Ahia is, they're one. And you join on in, and you become one. So he said, just whose side are you on? I remember when he said that to Moses, and Moses got down there, Moses told Aaron them, draw your swords. And who's on the Lord's side? That's what they said. But who's on a higher side? And those that wasn't on a higher side, guess who they were, you guys? 3,000 and some odd hundred of Israelites. Moses said, kill them all. Woo, Father, yeah. Moses said, kill them all. But they wanted to, he made a statement before he said it. Who's on a higher side? Those that was on a higher side stood on one side. Now you see how they stood on one side? You see how they did that? And they got prepared? They knew who their side they were on. That's all Sister Deborah is saying today. That's all Ahia wants you to know today. Know your side that you're on. Stand that ground. Stay on your side. Don't let nobody take that from you. You stay on a higher side. And don't let nobody, I don't care how much you love someone else's flesh. Because that's what we don't understand. We're loving flesh. But Ahia is a different, we're not loving flesh when we love, when I say love, I mean, when we deal in a way of, we approve and go about what flesh say, what flesh tell us to do, and what flesh say and how flesh feel. But he is not a flesh, he's a spirit. We want to be more concerned about how he feels. At least I do. And I do that all day long. I'm more concerned about the Father. And he's more concerned about me. And I praise him for that. I thank him for that. So he's saying, try working before this year is out. having a personal relationship with him. Even if you have to go into the closet, he loves for you all to go into the closet because he said pray in the spirit. That's what going in the closet is, you guys. Going in the closet is simply just going in the closet, and that means in a part of the inner man of who you are. And it comes with all your feelings, your emotions, everything. Go on in that closet and talk to me. Go on in there, I'll meet you there. Go on in there and I'll bless you. Go on in there and I'll deliver you from any sickness. Go on up in that closet and I'll bring you out a new creature. Go on in that closet, you'll never be the same. Go on in that closet and glorify me. Go on in that closet and hear my name spoken into your spirit. And you will never be the same. That's what the closet is. He wants you to speak in his language. His language is spirit. You see? He said, come on in here. Talk to me. And guess what? When we tell y'all something that's so sad, going in the closet means you drop that flesh right at the door. Y'all didn't know that, did you? Your flesh fall down. Spirit only go in. Flesh be out there. Wait a minute, I want to come in. I want to say something. I want to pray for my pain here. Or I want to pray for a job. And flesh got dropped at the door because now it's between the spirit of who you are and the most high or higher. You see, he ain't got time to talk to your flesh. That's what going in the closet is. So before this year is out, make sure you all search yourself. Search yourself and see if you can be found with the Ruach HaKodesh resting therein, but you have not felt it or have not experienced it at a great how about it? Oh, it's an awesome feeling. And you have not experienced it. Okay, so you go into that closet because that's what he said do. He said, "Come in and talk to me in spirit. Come on here in the spirit. Don't come in here. Bring your flesh." And that's what Sister Deborah tried to tell y'all. Push that flesh to the curb. Leave them emotions and them feelings, your personal opinion, your wisdom of your flesh, your knowledge of your flesh, and your understanding. Leave that stuff out. Go into that closet, humble. Go into that closet and just start letting him talk to you in the spirit realm. And you'll see that flesh drop off. You'll see it. You'll feel your flesh drop off. You'll hear your flesh drop off. You will see your flesh drop off. And then all of a sudden you begin to hear a conversation between two entities, and your flesh be like, wait a minute, what's going on? I ain't lying. I'm a living prophet. Not a dead one. And I'm telling you, I have experienced it so many times where I go in the closet and flesh want to go in there thinking it's going to roar up and it's going to say this. Hey, and when that flesh get in there, let me tell you something. That flesh get in that closet trying to hoop and holler and crying. Look, I tell it, stand down. Just to let it know you ain't got no conversation just between spirit and spirit. Because it will come in and you don't need that right now. You really don't. And I found out it had to been in between 3 and 5 months this year. I found out. I did not know that, you guys. I did not know feelings and emotions is sorcery and witchcraft. It's sorcery and witchcraft. I didn't know that. And that's scary. But it's a good thing, because once you're able to get away from that addiction of that emotions and that those feelings, guess what? Your spirit gained this power. Real holy felt power, because it can't give you those gifts. You remember Yeshua said we should do greater gifts and wonders than him. But you know why we're having? Because our emotions and our feelings and all kind of stuff like that is in our personal opinion. All of that is in our way, keeping us from feeling all those things that's spiritual, that we can be able to go anywhere in the world and speak to somebody and they'll be like, and all they leave with is, that made so much sense. And they can leave and be remembering what you said for months and months and months. Plant them seeds. But these seeds got to be planted through spirit. We have to have the words of spirit and truth to be planted. Our natural words cannot be planted. That's why on these devil platforms, Sister Deborah always saying they be clowning, putting the clown clothes. Stop all that, because those are not the seeds. Those are not the spiritual seeds that needs to be planted. Remember, he said we plant a seed and he do the increase. You see what I'm saying? How are we planting seeds? You think we're gonna plant natural seeds of our own personal opinion, our own feelings, and our own emotions, our own wisdom, and our own knowledge? No, those are not the seed. He talking about spiritual, you guys. Plant a spiritual seed in someone, Deborah. I'll meet them there, and I'll do the increase. I'll take it from here. That's what he said. He's always, but he said he ain't coming back, y'all. He is not coming. Going back to what he said, he's not coming back. It's finished. It's over. That means he ain't coming back to give you the Ruach HaKodesh. He gave everybody the Ruach before the foundation of the world. Yes. So it's already resting in you if you already have it. You see? Remember, he said don't compress the spirit, because we do. 24, because flesh got to have its way. Then he told us how our flesh fight against our spirit. That's why. And it said in there several times, matter of fact, probably 8 times, how our spirit and the flesh fight against each other. They're warring against each other. It's a known fact, y'all. So therefore, what do we have to do? Come out of the flesh and step into the spirit realm. And when we step into the spirit realm, get to know if greater is he that's in us than he that's in the world. That's what we need to try to touch base with. That greater one that's in us. And he said we need to do that this year because we don't have no more time. He's saying that it is important. If you're on his side, it's important that you can identify that. You don't have to prove it to nobody, but to yourself. To yourself, because he already know who on his side. He's telling you as an individual, to prove to yourself. And once you prove to yourself, guess what? You don't have to step in the realm of nobody. You know that if he got something you got something to say, or you got something to ask, he can answer it in your spirit. See, that's why a lot of people are missing it now. They feel they have to come to these platforms and they have to get it from these people. No, you don't, baby. Greater is he that's in you, not Sister Deborah, not nobody else. The one that's in you. Okay? So he wanted me to drop that. He wanted me to drop also the V. I got cut off earlier. Hello in the live chat. It's good to see you. I got cut off earlier. And the devil is a lie, because I was telling you all about the V shot. He was explaining to me something I told you I didn't know. I had no idea that those who have received the V is going to cause all, even those who have not, to have great sorrow and to suffer. Okay? Now, I don't know what he mean by that, but I can kind of imagine what he mean. It's kind of sad, but I didn't know. I did not. I do know those that got the V are going to be the first one that they're going to give the chip to. Okay? I do know that. That's how they're going to start off with. Those who already got the shots, okay, you can get the chip. Those who have not, until you get the shot, then you can't get the chip. You see what I'm saying? They're gonna swing all that type of crap. So he wanted me to say the V shot will affect all. And I said, let me tell y'all what I did. I said, so if my oldest daughter, and one of my sons took it, and they told me they didn't, but if they took it, then I find out that they have it because of what's going to take place, and that's going to hurt me as a mother, right? Is that he ain't talking about that, child. So he ain't talking about that one. See, I'm thinking our feelings, our fleshly feelings going to be hurt, emotions. Oh no, he ain't talking about that. And also remember, and you can't get this if you don't have the Ruach in you. That's why I say, he said, make sure that you tap in to what is in you that's greater before this year is out. Don't wait until next year. This year. And he's saying that he said when you shall drink poison and it shall not harm you, that means that those that are that have taken the V, they have taken something by choice. And what he mean by choice, they put their faith in that thing that man has over a higher. You see, a lot of people don't understand that. These people were so fearful and afraid of what the world and what man says, and man said they didn't even look the highest way to say what I'm going to trust in you or I fear you. So they chose a side, you guys. It ain't so much as a shot. People chose a side. Either he's your keeper or he is not. You're going to trust in him or you're going to trust in man. Most people trust in man. 99.9 trust in man. And that's why the Most High, when he said you shall drink poison and it shall not harm you, don't play with that. He's talking about his. He's talking about his. Who is his? The one in the Lamb Book of Life. Ain't nothing gonna harm you because I got you in my eternal life. So if I got you in my eternal life, you best bet down there, if they get poison or whatever, my spirit is living in you. And if that poison come through you, it shall not harm you, because I'm greater in you than that poison itself. You know how he said you should drink poison and it shall not harm you? So he was explaining to me a couple of days that that's going to be in this day and time that we're in, and in this hour, because things going to be, the way they put stuff in food, in water, they put stuff in everywhere. A lot of us should have been gone. And I'm going to tell you the saddest part. This is the sad part. A lot of them are dropping. We have more death in the last 2 or 3 years than ever. And they dying by great numbers, but they won't show you on the media. They won't tell you about it. And they said the children are dying by great numbers all over the world. Great numbers. So, but see, don't forget now, whatever is loosed in heaven, it's going to be loosed down here on earth. That means no matter what Satan decides to do, heaven's got to loose it for him to do it. And that's what he means when he said, whatever you bind on earth, it shall be bound in heaven. Whatever you loose on earth, it shall be loosed in heaven. Letting you know heaven's going to have to loose it, and heaven's going to be the one that bound it. So that's showing you where the power is really at. And a lot of times people think it's here in them, as far as they're a natural being, but it's not. So we're going to have to also understand that he said that many are going to be affected by it, you know. Okay, another part I want to talk to you about is, you remember how Job, the sons of Yah was with Yah, and they were, and Satan came in the midst, and the father was asking him, have you tried my servant Job? Satan wasn't thinking about Job. Satan was like, hey, I ain't messing with Job. Not only do you got a hedge around him, you think I don't see that mighty right hand on him? No. So Satan was saying to the father, then I tell you what though, if you touch him with that right hand, and it's sad. It's sad for me as a prophetess in this day and time to know that Satan knows about the Father's right hand, and the human beings on the earth could care less and don't have no understanding. You would fear the fact if you know what that right hand is, and that's stretched out on him. Satan isn't even afraid. He told him what? I know it. I don't care if you move that hedge. You move that hedge or whatever. You can do whatever you want. I ain't gonna bother Job. He said, but I tell you what, bring on that right hand and put it on him. Touch him with that right hand. And here the world don't know nothing about the Father's right hand, especially people who've been in church for years. Hebrew Israelites, none of them know anything about that right hand. You cannot cause that right hand to go your way. It has a way that has been orchestrated before the foundation of the world. So let's get to where I'm trying to get to. Now, when Satan went and he told him, he said, no, I'm still not going to bother Job. You had a hedge around him. And even if you took that hedge, I ain't going that route. But I tell you what, put that mighty right hand on him. I mess with him then, and I bet you he'll curse you. So Ahiah touched Job and did just that. And let Satan have his way. But not now time. Now time. Listen to this. Let me get it for you. Job 13. In the book of Job, chapter 13, verse 15 and 16. I want y'all to understand this. And this is why I want you to come go with me where I come to know who he is. And then I try to tell y'all, this is when I was a little girl. So what would be stupid of me to want to forsake such a great and excellent and marvelous and wonderful creator? Now listen to what Job was saying. Job chapter 13. You know, I will be lost. Now listen to what Job said. I want to show y'all something. And I'm going to take y'all a place we haven't gone before, but I'm going to show you something. In Job chapter 13, verse 15 and 16, it reads, though he slay me, hallelujah, though he slay me, yet will I trust in him. See, Job knew that wasn't Satan on him. He could have said Satan, that wicked evil one. No, he knew that was the right hand of the Father. And what does he say? Verse Job chapter 13 and verse 14. Verse 15. Though he slay me, yet will I trust in him. But I will maintain my own ways before him. Verse 16. He also shall be my salvation. For an hypocrite shall not come before him. I know that's right. See, he ain't talking to Satan. Satan whooping his tail. Turn his tail up. And he said, who? Ye though you slay me, Father, Yah, I still will trust in you. You are my deliverer. We don't do that. We'll never, ever, ever reach that destiny. Now, see how Job 101, Satan turned his tail up. But you ain't finna tell him, you turn my tail up. He's like we tell the white man doing this and a white man doing this, or they doing this. And you get so many of these females teaching, they need to sit down. All of them need to sit their tails down. They either talking he say, she say, ain't talking no spirit and truth, none whatsoever. Now here go Job. Ye though you slay me, he knew who slayed him. Praise the mighty Yah. Job said, ye though you, let's go over that again. Ye in verse 15, though he slay me, yet will I trust in him. That's Sister Deborah, y'all. This is where I'm telling you life has been. I've had children that passed away. I had so many things that didn't happen to me, but yet I will trust in the one I've known all this time. And that's what Job is saying. Wait a minute, this is the one that had a hedge around me and my whole family. Wait a minute, Job. Wait a minute, Job. What are you talking about? Your kids are dead. You ain't got no more land. You ain't got no more cattle. What you mean, Job? Everything is gone. But Job said, no. Ye though thy Father, Yahweh, slay me. Hallelujah. Yet will I trust in thee. See, these are the sort of things we need to say to him. Job sitting here just laying it out for us. He said, Deborah, come on over here. Come sit with me a minute. You see, my 10 kids was gone in a blink of an eye. Everything I owned, everything was gone, Deborah. But yet learn to trust in him. You see, he slayed me. I know who slayed me. This is how deep I try to explain to you all the Hebrew Israelite men especially are gone. Because they can't say what Job said. They can't say what Job said. Now, what did he say in verse 16? He also shall be my salvation, for an hypocrite shall not come before him. Go, Job, go. This is it, y'all. Look what he allowed Satan to do to Job. Did you hear Job if you read Job from the beginning to the end of Job's whole ordeal, because Ahiah allowed Satan to come on him twice. even when he was down to flesh falling from his bone. Sicker than sick, flesh falling from his bones, you guys. But what he keeps saying, ye though you slay me, yet I will trust in thee. Now, this is where we're at. Let's say the Hebrew Israelites. This is what they should be marching their tails saying. So when Sister Deborah come and I say to you all, we need to be showing who we are, not running our nasty, ugly mouths. We should be showing some action and showing who we are. Not on a mountaintop trying to claim who we are, because that makes me understand what I was told that I would experience. You're going to go mad, sister. You're going to go mad, sister, for the sight of what you see. And I am. Because every time I turn around, you got these Negro Hebrew Israelite people running their tails around here trying to prove themselves. Why not just say, ye know you curse us, hallelujah, I shall salute thee. Ye know you cursed us, I will praise thee. No, the women is just as worse, because they bouncing here, bouncing up, bouncing here, and bouncing there. They don't know which side they on. That's why I said choose this day to search yourself and prove to yourself who is greater in thee. Who is he greater in thee, or you just greater on your own, calling yourself to be something that he is not? So when Job is saying this, it does something to my spirit. It does something to my spirit. Because all the time Satan is on him. Now listen to what's going on now. We call the elite, the Satan, devil, evil, wicked. We see people. Just imagine. It was strictly the devil came and tore up Job. But yet he said, ye though thou slay me. Job knew what I knew. That who rules it all, who caused these things to come. And that's what's wrong with the people today, and it's over. They'll never come to the knowledge of anything, and we're going to cover that. Now, I wanted to say that because I'm going to add on to that later on, okay? Now, I want to go to also something else that's going on. I don't know if you all have heard about the animals going around in the circle. I know you all, it's happening all over the world in different places, not just the United States, y'all. It's happening where birds and fish and different animals are going in a circle of motion, okay? Let me take y'all where we at and what that is about. When Ahia created the heavens, he put a dome over us, okay? Now, underneath this dome is where the earth and the heavens to reach a level to the tip of the dome. But beyond the dome, we cannot reach there. We cannot get there. We can't planes, nothing, okay? So we're in a dome. And you know how they say 4 corners of the earth. And they always talking about, I'm gonna break it down to you. They always talking about on the 4 corners that he's coming, sending angels on the 4 corners, or the Son of Man is coming on the 4 corners. The 4 corners, there's not a 4 corners, it is a circle. Like you see them animals circling around. The circle in which they're circling is because of the judgment of the Most High Ahia on the earth, okay? Meaning the ground, the trees, the sea, they're circling around the world because we are a dome. We're not like the 4 corners. When he speak of the Son of Man is coming on the 4 corners to collect, or on the 4 corners, it's not 4 corners like a square. It's telling you Ahia deals with circle. It's all in scriptures. He deals circle. Why? Because when he created the earth, it was circle under, not up, a round ball, but a circle. So when you go from one end of it, you're going to go to the other, and no matter what, you're going to always circle around. So when you see these animals going in a circle, this describes the earth in which Ahaya has created. Okay? We are under a dome. Okay? And they are circling all around the dome. For what? The judgment of the Most High Ahaya has hit the earth. Okay? And when it hits the earth, that means things are going to start happening unlike you ever seen before. So the when you see these animals going in a circle, they don't have no other choice. They already is taking heed to the power of who Ahaya's power is, and they're circling the whole world. And that's what that circle is going around. And it's not like a ball circle. It's circle around. Okay? We're not a ball. We are circling around. Okay? So when they're sitting here saying 4 corners and it's flat, no, he ain't talking about those corners. Circling. Okay? And you hear it always talking about circular, and circling, you know, and that's what these animals are doing. They're saying, we're sending a sign to Sister Deborah that the Father is circling the whole world for judgment. Hallelujah. So whatever that is that Ahaya is going to allow, it's going to affect not one side, but the other. It can be different judgment, but yet the circle represents the judgment of the Most High is circling the world, okay? And it's meaning literally the world, the earth. Just put it like that. The earth that we're on. That's what he's circling for judgment. Okay? Ahaya has come to the ground. Hallelujah. And the angel, not the angel, and the fishes in the sea is circling, and different birds are circling. They're worshiping the coming of Ahaya's judgment. And he's sending it to those who, he said, if it was so, it will fool my very elect. So Ahaya is sending a message to his elect that this is the whole overall of what they're seeing. They don't understand it, but you do. So I thank the Father for that. They have a reason to circle the earth, okay? Because this is in the power of Yah. And believe it or not, in them is so much power to they're fearful to even break the line. It's just imagine for the fishes in the sea to be going in a circle of motion. You should be fearful. You see the birds going in a circle of motion. You should be fearful. You see any other animal going in a circle of motion. You should be fearful. If they have sense enough to react to the judgment of Yah, and you run around here killing, stealing, and destroying each other as if you don't see no judgment. But see, that's why he said, okay, they'll see them doing it. They'll never know what it was until it hit them. So let that be my Father's will be done in that. Now, another thing he was showing me was there is a lot of lies. And I sat there and I watched it and I just said, Father, I just said, Father, I'm so sorry. It just messed. Oh, Father, you never thought, I never thought it was like this here, this bad. You got a lot, and the majority, I go 99.9 of the Hebrew Israelite movement of men in camps, in academies, in schools, in pastoring and teaching, Maureen seers and watchmen and apostles, and just teaching, y'all, just teaching. It just reminds me of how, what's his name? T.D. Jakes come out, and you know what? The Father had got on me the other day. He said, I said, Father, see, I knew it was something today. He said, no, you didn't even look. I said, I know what you're trying to tell me. He brought something back to my remembrance. and this is about a couple of years ago. How one time I was watching T.D. Jakes, and I wasn't watching him like really watching him, how he was acting. And I kept seeing that hand go like this here. I said, he moves his hand like he got some sugar in him. Father brought that back up to me. Told me he was always in it for a long time. And I'm like, and when he brought it to me, he said, remember? I mean, really, I had forgot. That's why that ruach, if you got it in you, it will bring things back to your remembrance, because it takes me back to even as a little girl. That's how I remember everything. It's because the ruach in me that's greater. He'll bring things back to your remembrance, and that's what he does. So he brought that back to me. He said, remember when you was watching him, and you was saying you saw his hand go like this here, and you said he had some sugar in it. I said, Father, you ought to quit. I ain't lying, y'all. He was trying to show me that, see, he was always involved in that. Just like the Winans. The Winans, they had, I think, 2 brothers that was always in it. And everybody walked. I used to see, when a higher give you the gifts of eyes, that means give you this ability to look into the eyes. And somebody might say, oh, he didn't give you that. Let me tell y'all something. Why do you think man has the lie detective test? Because they're trying to control the move of the mind and the body. Well, that's how a higher is. That's where they get the stuff from. A higher put his and gift his to do this. They come up and they try to do something, and they feed off of it and gain their own way of doing it. You know how he sent Moses and them to Pharaoh, and Pharaoh came up with his when Moses and them stuck the rod and it turned into a snake, and Pharaoh and them had their little musicians or whatever come up and do the same. That's life, y'all. When you see them do it, then that's how this world is. It's always trying to copycat the power of my Father's right hand, and they still ain't got it. Okay, so I remember he was telling me that the other day. He said, yeah, remember you said you saw his hand, and I could see it as plain as I'm talking to you all. T.D. Jakes' hand, that was going. And I was like, wait a minute, he holding his hand all like this, and like he got some sugar in it. And what I was saying, that he acted like his hands are like he's kind of gay, and now he's speaking on churches is just a business. He don't look at it as real, okay? And it's not sincere. Look at all the people that followed him. And I've been left that man, probably a couple of years after he had started. I didn't have my ex-husband will tell you, I was chewing them off when it was years ago. And it was the gift that was given to me. And I thank the Father for it, because I knew who Joyce Meyer and everyone at TBN, everybody, even the Winans. I said, now look here, Winan, CC and whatever, BB or whatever. But she knew her brother was a gay. She knew both of them was gay. But they still portray as if they were holier than thou. And I think that's sad, because now I look back at it, I say, everybody's been role playing, Father. Everybody. And I just thank the Father, because I'm going to tell y'all, I stayed in the church, y'all. I sure did. I stayed in the church, but I realize now as I go on in life, I was strictly a prophetess, because I judge every word they said. I judged every word they said. I never forget this one lady that I moved next door to in this house, and she was a pastor. She was an assistant pastor, and she was so delighted to meet me. And she said, "But you somebody, I just can't pinpoint what it is. The Father's telling me." But she used to always say that. And then when I told her who I was as a prophetess, she went and told her pastor. Oh, what she tell her that for? She had a female pastor. She said, I told my pastor, I'm inviting you to church. And it was like a month later. I'm inviting you to church, and you was coming. And this lady she was so happy, y'all. It was an older lady too. She was so happy I was coming. She wanted me to meet her pastor. Do you all know her pastor ran out the back door? I'm not lying. While people were in the church. And she said, why did she do that? I ain't say a word. I ain't said nothing. And I stood there a moment, because I wanted to see what she gonna come. Lady didn't even come back. I mean, went out like for real back door of the church. She gone. Because she was taking me up to meet her pastor. And her pastor was going through she saw her coming, me and her coming. She got up and started heading to the back door. She was saying, Pastor, wait a minute, I want you to meet prophetess. And her pastor shot out through that door. And she said, I don't know what. She didn't say nothing. That lady was just shocked. She was shocked. I know why she know why she was running through the door. See, and that's what is going on even on all these platforms. A lot of people, a lot of men especially, they want to run these YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and Patreon and all these other platforms, but they don't want a woman to speak. There's a reason behind that. There's a big reason behind that. They got their reasons why they don't. And guess what? It is wicked and it is evil. Okay? So if Ahia has called you to speak, whatever position Ahia has called you to him and in him, you stand on that and don't let nobody take that from you. You tell anything around it, you got to stand down. You stand down. Okay? And I think I was also speaking to you all about the whole armor. The whole armor of Ahia is not natural, y'all. Nope, it's not this book here. It's not the book. The whole armor is spiritual. The spiritual armor that he has given. He said, put it on. Because he know he created it. The helmet. Put this spiritual garment on to keep the wiles of the wicked from coming up on you. But if you caught with it off, you have messed creek. He gonna know you ain't mine. That's why he said, when you put it on, stand. He didn't say fight. He didn't say roar up. He didn't say debate. He didn't say argue. He said stand. Because he see you got the full armor on. And the full armor, all it is you believing. It's a form of believing that I got the breastplate of righteousness. Then I tell y'all, righteous, it's something he brand in you. It ain't something you can build up on your own so you can create. The helmet of salvation, peace, all these things are of a higher. See, the enemy can't come up on that. And when he said put it on, he said put it on. How? Through believing the armor really exists. Put that thing on. It's spiritual, y'all. And then because I used to ask some stupid questions. I used to ask some stupid questions. Because I said, now wait a minute, how you gonna tell us to put on something and then stand? What's the purpose of putting it on if you have to just stand? Because that's what he wanted you to know. You don't have to do anything. And another thing, I got to get back on these men too about what they're doing. That whole armor is all spiritual, y'all. It ain't got nothing to do with nothing natural. Nothing. So we want to really believe it's something I can put on, or I put this on in it, or I get into my word. No. Because people still don't understand the word is not the book. This book is instructions and directions. From who? The word. The word is Ahia. As many times man didn't mess with this. Come on now. Ahia wants you to study it. Use it as a study and guide. And once he see you involved in, he said, I'll come and I'll meet you right where you at. Don't go nowhere. I'm going to meet you right where you at. Don't you go nowhere. Just study to show yourself. Don't go studying to show others. Because there's a lot of things you're going to study that ain't going to be right. That's why I said rightly dividing it. So I tell you what, you study and you tarry for me to be your teacher. You see? And that's who the word is. So when you hear him in John 1 and 1, the Gospel of John, chapter 1 and 1, you hear him say, in the beginning was the word was, and the word is, and the word was in the beginning. And he's letting you know the word is not the book. Because the book wasn't here, but he was. That's where he said heaven and earth shall pass away. Every word that proceed out of the mouth of Ahiah, not out of a book. So how does it come out of the mouth of Ahiah? Through your spiritual hearing, because he's a spirit and he speaks to you. And he can climb on top of this book and make this book look sad. And that's how Sister Deborah is able to teach in the way that she do teach. It's because he taught me. The word is me, Deborah. Let me teach you. Let me teach you. So when we talk about putting on this whole armor, we got to understand it's spiritual. It's nothing natural about that armor, Ahiah. And it's not a book. He's the word. So he's that sword. Now let the devil come up on you now, but you just don't go trying to fight it. Don't try to use this book, because that ain't it. That's no part of the armor. But what you putting on is spiritual, spirit and truth. See if he can do something to you now. But what I like about it that I learned, this is why the weakness of people is where it's at, is I learned that he's sitting here telling people it's not flesh, y'all. He's sitting here laying it out. It is not flesh and blood, y'all. And I'm like saying, Father, who you think gonna believe that? Because you study teaching in spirit and truth, people don't get it. So I'm like, flesh. And this is when he was telling me about the whole armor is spiritual. And he said, it's not flesh and blood, Deborah. This thing is spirit. Okay? And he's saying that it's all spirit. So if I got to teach you, why am I trying to teach you from a book and not what's really out here, spirit and truth? You see what I'm saying? So when you hear me saying spirit and truth, take that to heart and keep it. Don't let nobody take that from you, because that's what's going to teach you. It's going to override when people come up to you and say, did. Or you might meet somebody that's a Hebrew Israelite man trying to whoop this on you. You'll know how to speak to him in spirit and truth. It'll automatically flow. And you'll see him not having nothing else to say, because he ain't got nothing to say. He's been speaking word from his flesh. You see? So when the Father's sitting here saying, Deborah, they don't fight against flesh and blood, I said it over and over and over. So why are they fighting the fake Jews? Didn't I tell them they was a synagogue of Satan? Why are you marching toward them? What do you want? What do you want from the world? You should be just saluting my curse. You didn't see Job cut up from the floor? Didn't I bring Lot out? Didn't I bring Noah out of the ark? Out of the flood? Wait a minute, hold up. All this was my doing, Deborah. And they still don't know my power and who I am. Because, see, I used to think Moses brought the children out to the Father and said, where you get that from? Who told you that? I said, but didn't you choose Moses and Aaron to lead the people? Deborah, I led them with my right hand, my mighty arm. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. He said, yeah, Moses ain't done nothing. I led him. So he was showing me that even when we understand how the children came out, if we really meditate on how they came out and what by night, what did they have by night? What did they have by day? How did they walk that distance? He was showing you a whole host of heaven. I had the whole host of heaven with me in my right hand. That's how they got out of there, y'all. It wasn't Moses and Aaron. They didn't know the way to their left, to their right hand from their left. They didn't know anything. It was that shows you how we give credit. And if you leave it up to the men, they're gonna always give credit to these mighty men and not give it back to the Father's right hand and his power and who he is. And I think we unfairly just did him wrong in that area. Because we gave everything and every authority and every power to blood, a flesh of man, and didn't give him anything for everything he has done. And even this curse. I just heard again them keep talking. And the women saying it too. Everybody's making this thing look like, and I know it, this is sad, y'all. By next year, you're going to hear a lot of the Hebrew Israelite movements, women and men, they're going to deny the Bible. Okay, they're going there already. A lot of them are already there, and they're going to deny it. Don't get discouraged. You still hold on to what a higher is teaching you out of that instruction and that direction. Don't give up this book. That's why do you think? Let me tell y'all something. The Hebrew Israelite movement never thought, well, okay, you want to say this book is talking about you, but why now say it's not true? You see how it shows you there is a mental state of mind of people really are in. Because if you say this is not true, now you say in the Old Testament of the New Testament is not true. A lot of them are saying Torah is error. It's not true. A lot of them saying there's no such thing as Hebrew, as many of them out here studying this true. And now they're saying Paul is not true. Okay, if none of this is true, what makes you true? What makes you the true Jews then? What makes you anything? If 1 minute you talk that this was your book from your people, for your tribes, and now you're teaching the people, that's why I know the year 2003 is going to be a year where this book is going to be fully denied, because this is where the mystery is at. The Father was saying, Deborah, you know that I have already spoken that this book's going to vanish. It has. How? They got more than 20 new Bibles that came up in the last 20 years. And they still coming up. New King James, New Version, New World Study Bible, new everything. They call it all kind of books. Why would they come up with all these books? And that 1611 King James book existed how long? Now y'all coming up with all these books. Why? Because we have to make sure we keep that book. Because he's coming through, his spirit is coming through that book, teaching us certain things in that book. Just like you would go on your job. Won't they give you, when you get hired, don't they give you an employee book? When you go to college, don't they give you books? When you go to school, don't they give you books? I don't care where you go, they're going to give you a book. So Ahia just left a book for instructions and direction, but he wanted us to tarry until he comes. That's why he said, put your trust in no man. Because I'm coming, Deborah. Don't trust these men giving you anything. I'm coming. Just shut up and tarry till I come. And tarry comes with a waiting spirit of belief, a waiting spirit of trust. You see? A waiting spirit of faith, you know? Because you know when he comes, he going to show up and show out. Didn't he do that at the day of Pentecost? Showed up and showed out. You see, that's what it means when it said, wait for me. I'm coming, y'all. A lot of us don't understand he ain't coming no more. He's already in you. A lot of people don't have him activated. It's because they don't trust that he's there. And guess what? He don't need you to trust that he's there. He could care less if you trust that he's there. He's there whether you like it or not, if he already have put you in the Lamb Book of Life. Because that's the only way you're sure going to come up and get the sheep and the goats and separate them, because you'll be already in the book. So he don't care if you want to trust him in or not. He know he done sealed in you belief. He done sealed in you righteous. He done sealed in you faith. He knows what he done put in you already. So if you can either cut, that's why he said, it's probably in there 8 times, I'm going to hold you blameless. Because I got you down in the book. You see? So a lot of things we're doing is unnecessary. You know, a lot of things we're saying is unnecessary. Just trust in him being the greatest, as he said he is, that's in you than he is in the world. You got to trust that. Okay? Trust that. How about that? How about that? And let him do what he does best. But if you don't want to feel him activated in you, and you want to compress the spirit that's in you, you go right ahead. But we are not in the days of good times. We are not in the days where we're going to get peace. We are not in the days where everything's going to get better, you guys. It's not going to be like that. So therefore, you can be having joy in the midst of the storm. You can have joy in the midst of all the chaos. How? Him in you, you in him, y'all become one. Even in the days where we are destroyed, we can still override our natural mind. Why? Because our spirit has got dominion over our flesh. And on top of that, greater is he that's in us than he that's in the world. So our natural mind can be destroyed 24/24. But our spiritual mind that is in one with him will stand tall and firm. See, he knows what he's doing. But we have so many things that we're going through that's off the chain. And he was saying about the men. They're going to start lying. They're going to start doing away with the Bible, okay? The book. Did not Ahiah know it? Yes, he did. He knew that they would. He already knew that they already made all these other new books. He already knew it. That's why he said, tarry until I come. Tarry until I come. Ooh, that's deep. See, he ain't talking about this book. Because what he gonna put in you is greater than anything in the world. Ain't this book in this is in the world? Heaven and earth shall pass away. But what he stands will last forever because he is the word. And that's something we never was taught. We did not teach it, preach it, and give it to the people right. We wanted everybody to think that this was it. And this is inspired by him as an instructions and directions. Just like the commandments and the laws were, the instructions and directions. But we make it something that it is not. It will never override the Father himself, the one that carries all power. Come on now. We're not going to override that. So if we're looking for him to come riding on a horse to save us, no, he's not going to do that. But he can save you. He can bring you into the light. He can bring you into the light. Because this here has got to be destroyed. So what did Satan do to Job? Flesh started falling from his bone. What or how you say? Yeah, I don't care what you do with him. Do whatever you want, but don't you mess with this. See, even Satan knew that there's one part you can take. You can do everything you want. And what Satan go after that flesh. You mess with that flesh. But that's as far as you can go. Because Ahiah knows it does not end with the flesh. So he took him there. He took him there. All the way there. And even Job got kind of weak in his sickness and got to saying certain things. And then what Ahiah say? Let me tell you one thing, Job. Let me tell you one thing. Where were you when I created the stars? Can you tell me? See, Ahiah's trying to say exactly what I'm saying to you all now. The way that he has orchestrated everything, stand y'all tails down and stop trying to override it. It's finished. Everything has been orchestrated, predestined, ordained, foreknew, and it is over. All we have to do is walk within ourselves and say to ourselves, whose side are we really on? Whose side are we really on? If you're really on the Father's side, the Creator side, you're going to know it. We're in the midnight hour and you're going to know who you are. Not assume or think. You're going to know who you are. And I guess I couldn't say it, but I think about 4 years old to now. Been walking with me a mighty long time. So I don't even see how I cannot know who he is. You see what I'm saying? That's a long time. But it's something in us that assure us that he is greater what is in the world. And I guess another thing, you all, I did the study on the right hand. And when I studied the right hand and the stretched out arm, which 99 trillion refused to study, just like they refused to study Deuteronomy 28. Everybody refused to study the things that bring life. Hallelujah. And they ready to search their history. You get what I'm saying? You want to search your history, baby. Your history is over. Your history is done. It is over. It is over. You better search within yourself and make sure you tarry for something that you need to find out if it's greater in you while you searching your history. Your history can't override the history of the Most High or higher that was before the foundation of the world. Somebody tell me, can your history, your ancestor history, override what took place in the heavens? Can somebody answer that? Tell me what part of your history can override what took place before the foundation of the world. So if you want to know where your history is, you need to get your butts that way. Learn your history. Because if you knew your history, you will know that the curse that's on you is a part of your history. And you will stop hooping and hollering and clowning down on this earth. Because when you finish hooping and hollering and clowning, guess what? History gonna mark its place. As it did in the heavens, like it is on the earth. Even the prayer, give me this day my daily bread. What does it say? Heavenly Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as is what? On earth. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us for our debtors, if we forgive our debtors, those who trespass against us. But he said, wait a minute, let me get back to that. Heavenly Father, which art in heaven, holy be thy name, holy be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Heaven has already orchestrated to be the way that it is on the earth. But many people, millions and billions, would use that prayer. Trillions say that prayer. But guess what? Don't have no spirit and truth behind it. It's telling you like it is in heaven. Going back to what Sister Deborah said, before the foundation of the world. Like it is in heaven on earth. Like it is in heaven on earth. Like it is in heaven on earth. Because Ahia has already orchestrated from that level. That's why I said don't let nobody tell you if you got the Ruach HaKodesh or not. Because they ain't got the power nor the authority nor the right. Only you yourself should know. And that's where we at. Check your own self and see if greater is he in you than he that's in the world. Or greater is he. Have you found yourself and approved yourself that he is founded in you? You see, that's you and him. He didn't say, your pastors, your prophetess, or nobody. You and him. And you know what's so sad, child? This is another thing. Why is it when we stand before him come judgment, ain't nobody gonna be standing with us? Somebody knocked me in the head. Somebody shot me in the head. They didn't poison me. The system has poisoned me. All these things didn't happen. Why ain't they standing on side of me so I can tell Ahia what they did? No, he gonna let you stand alone. He ain't worried about what everybody else done. See, that's where people gonna get messed up. So why do you think he's caught up in you and what they doing to you? As if he didn't orchestrate it from the heaven. what Sister Deborah said, somewhere in us have to understand where the power really rests. And if we still, you know what, I don't even think you can really have the Ruach not having the fullness of how great his power is. No. Because greater is he that is in you than he that's in the world. And that be greater in any and all things. That's why it's important to go to Genesis all the way to Revelation, pull up that word right hand, stretched out arm. Because when you know where that power is at, that's where that fear come in. Even though it's branded in you, it'll show you, see, he ain't nobody to mess with. Because I was telling you all, he told me to do the thing, and I still been disobedient. I've still been disobedient and haven't done it. But when I came up on one of them, I almost had a fit. I said, but wait a minute, hold up. Father, yeah, you mean David killed his man? Yep, he did. And I told him I was going to destroy his army. He was going to destroy him. But he gave him three things, choices. And David chose pestilence to come up on his men. And when the pestilence came, it killed 70,000. If you don't have the fear that Sister Deborah had, something wrong with you. This is the sort of Most High I serve. You mean you gonna tell me David took the life of his man because he counted how many he had in the military? He had 200,000 tribe of Judah and 800,000 Israelites. I mean, the house of Judah, house of Israel. So he went to tell David how large of an army he had of men to fight if they was gonna fight. David told him not to count them, but he did it anyway. So David killed him. I'm like, I ain't never heard that a day in my life. He said, that's why I told you to go back and pull up all those things that has happened to the children of Israel and the tribe of Judah. And when you do, it gives you a better outlook of why the mindsets is gone today. You see what I'm saying? Even though Deuteronomy and told them, you notice now one of them teach it. Y'all haven't heard now one of them teach it. Now one of them preach it. Now one of them, and I see the men now. Josh of Hebrew Building Nation, he's running around here dancing in darkness. I said this is going on a whole year, and he got all these women and men with their shoes off dancing. Baby, it ain't that much dance in the world. That dance don't identify nothing but y'all clowning. I'm so sick if everybody finding room to clown. Ahia ain't about all that clowning. And then when it's all said and done, he used to be a good teacher, you guys. He used to break that word down, but I don't know what happened. I heard that another prophet just got on him, and ever since then, he been down. And I'm like, bro, you can't do that. But if you down like that, and you down that low, when something going on, because he just went too far down and ain't came back up since. It's been a year. And somebody told me some prophetess had said something to him about not allowing women to do something. And he just get a flow to the women, and they dance, and the men dance all night, and they be having them long swords. And just, I'm like, we in the midnight hour, y'all. None of that represents my Father. How does that give my Father glory? How does that honor my Father? How does that manifest the creator in any way? You see how gone? And it's just like all of them, they just falling. But it said that in Isaiah chapter 3. But it's just, the more I go back to my verse, Deuteronomy 28:34, so that thou shalt be mad for the sight of what thy eyes which thou shalt see. He's talking to his, y'all. He ain't talking to everybody. He's telling his that y'all gonna see these, and you're gonna go mad. And he's just not talking about Deuteronomy 28. He's talking about in this captivity, the end of what's going on. and the whole overall. To see, and the part of where you're going mad is you see you who in the live chat can say, what do he mean? Listen to this. I'm gonna read it to you. Deuteronomy, and can you tell me what is it that he is saying that one is going to go mad at the sight of what thou shalt see? Let me give it to you. Deuteronomy 28, verse 34. So that thou shalt be mad for the sight of thy eyes, which thou shalt see. Deuteronomy 28, verse 67. It says, for the sight of thy eyes, which thou shalt see. What is he saying there? What is he saying? You can hear him saying it to a certain people. He's certain ones that you're going to go mad at the sight of what thou shalt see. But what sight is that you think he's talking about? Woo! This is gone crazy. Oh, Father, yeah, this is deep. I know somebody can say it. I know somebody know. Yep, you're right, in the natural eyes, but what is he saying? You're going to go mad at the sight of what thou shalt see. State of shock, that's true too. That's it too. State of shock is, and that's all about mad. But what am I seeing? That's what I'm trying to say. Maybe I'm wording wrong. What is it he's talking about I'm going to see? That's a good one. The wickedness and the unjust and the unrighteous. Horror, yeah. But that, okay, but why I'm going mad at what I'm seeing? Come on, y'all. Someone help me. Yep. That's true too. Seeking horror and chaos. Oh, that's true. But why is Sister Deborah going mad? Why am I going mad at what I see? Oh, Father, yeah. Father, yeah. Yep, it's losing my mind. But what is I'm going to see? What is he saying I'm seeing to make me go mad? Maybe I should put it like that. What is he saying I'm seeing to make me go mad? Yep, I'm losing my mind. Come on, y'all. Somebody please take me there. Come on. Somebody got to know. We see in darkness, but no. Let me read it again. The wicked green spirit. I heard of that. I'm trying to figure out where is that. That's in Revelation. The wicked green spirits of the frogs. I just read that somewhere. Is that in Revelation? I think it is. I think that is in Revelation. We see in his power. Let me show it to y'all. Here we go in Deuteronomy 28. Y'all gonna laugh. Y'all gonna say, now where she got that from? Watch this here. In Deuteronomy 28 and verse 34, he began to tell me all the things. Now tell me, y'all, does this make sense? I want to hear y'all opinion on this. I need to hear your opinion on this. Now listen to this. In Deuteronomy 28, he started off at the beginning of it, tell you what all he would do for us if we did things this way. But if we didn't do this one, this is what he's going to allow to come upon us. And this is also in the vision of what he gave Abraham, right? Okay. Now, when you get to Deuteronomy 28 and 15, he began to tell you all the things